Have you ever tried to imagine a world without us? A world that existed long before the first human ever walked the earth. For an astonishing 165 million years, this planet belonged to the dinosaurs. From the lush landscapes of the Jurassic period to the very end of the Cretaceous, they were the undisputed rulers. Their time on this planet was so long, it's almost impossible for us to comprehend. To put it in perspective, the time separating the Stegosaurus from the Tyrannosaurus rex is longer than the time separating T-Rex from us today. So, how do we know so much about these incredible creatures that disappeared millions of years before our story even began? The answer lies buried right beneath our feet, in the form of fossils. Our knowledge of dinosaurs is a grand detective story written in stone. It all starts with paleontologists, scientists who are like time-traveling detectives. They might be hiking in a remote desert or exploring a rocky coastline when they spot something unusual, a strange shape or texture in the rock. This could be the tip of a fossilized bone. From there, an incredibly delicate process begins, using tools as small as brushes and dental picks. They painstakingly excavate the fossil, carefully removing the surrounding rock that has encased it for millions of years. It's a slow, meticulous process, because these bones are fragile treasures. Once excavated, they're wrapped in plaster jackets, like a cast for a broken arm, to protect them on their journey to the laboratory. In the lab, the real magic happens. Scientists clean and study every detail of the bones. They piece them together like a giant three-dimensional puzzle by analyzing the shape of the bones, the muscle attachment points, and the overall structure. They can reconstruct what the dinosaur looked like with remarkable accuracy. They can figure out how it moved, how big it was, and what it ate. For example, sharp, serrated teeth tell us we're looking at a carnivore, while flat, grinding teeth point to a plant-eating herbivore. It's through this careful scientific work that we can bring these ancient giants back to life in our minds, and see them not just as monsters, but as real, living animals. And what a world of animals it was. The age of dinosaurs wasn't just one single environment. It was a diverse and changing world. Imagine dense, humid forests filled with giant ferns and towering conifers, a perfect home for herds of gentle giants. Picture vast open plains where speedy predators could chase down their prey. There were even dinosaurs that lived in polar regions, adapting to colder, darker conditions. The variety of dinosaurs that roamed these ancient landscapes is truly mind-blowing. They weren't all lumbering giants. Some were as small as chickens, darting through the undergrowth, of course. When we think of dinosaurs, a few superstars always come to mind. Let's meet some of them. First, the undisputed king, Tyrannosaurus rex. T-Rex wasn't just big. It was a perfectly engineered killing machine, standing over 12 feet tall at the hips and stretching 40 feet long. Its most terrifying feature was its massive skull, filled with 60 banana-sized razor-sharp teeth. Its bite force was the strongest of any land animal that has ever lived, capable of crushing bone with ease. For a long time, scientists debated whether T-Rex was a hunter or a scavenger, but evidence from healed bite marks on other dinosaur fossils suggests it was an active and fearsome predator ruling the late Cretaceous plains of North America. But T-Rex didn't have it all its own way. It shared its world with one of the most well-defended animals of all time, the Triceratops. Imagine a rhinoceros on steroids, but the size of an elephant. Triceratops was a powerful herbivore, armed with a massive frill of bone protecting its neck, and 3 formidable horns on its face. The 2 long brow horns could grow over 3 feet long, making it a dangerous opponent for any predator, even a T-Rex. Fossil evidence shows us that these 2 giants definitely clashed. Paleontologists have found T-Rex teeth embedded in Triceratops frills and horn marks on T-Rex bones. Triceratops likely lived in herds, using their numbers and their incredible defenses to protect their young and fend off attacks. And then there were the true giants, the largest animals ever to walk the earth. The sauropods, like the colossal Titanosaurs. These were the long-necked, long-tailed plant-eaters that truly defy imagination. Species like Argentinosaurus or Patagotitan could reach lengths of over 120 feet and weigh more than a whole herd of elephants. Just their daily need for food was immense. They would have spent almost all their waking hours slowly moving through the forests, using their incredibly long necks to reach high into the treetops, stripping leaves from branches like giant living cranes. Their sheer size was their best defense. No predator, not even the largest carnivores of their time, could hope to take down a full-grown, healthy adult titanosaur. They were walking mountains of flesh and bone, shaping the very landscape they lived in. So, what was a typical day like for a dinosaur? Well, it was all about survival. Life was a constant search for food, and an effort to avoid becoming food. The carnivores, or predators, like T-Rex or Allosaurus, were the predators. Some, like the Velociraptor, which in reality was about the size of a turkey and covered in feathers, were likely pack hunters, using teamwork and intelligence to take down larger prey. Others were ambush predators, lying in wait for an unsuspecting herbivore to wander by. The herbivores, or plant-eaters, had different strategies. Some, like Triceratops, had armor and weapons. Others, like the duck-billed hadrosaurs, relied on safety in numbers, living in vast herds, and using loud calls to warn each other of danger. Still others relied on pure speed to escape. One of the biggest debates in paleontology has been about whether dinosaurs were warm-blooded, like birds and mammals, or cold-blooded, like modern reptiles. Originally, scientists thought of them as slow, sluggish, cold-blooded lizards. But more and more evidence suggests that many, if not all, dinosaurs were much more active and dynamic. Their bone structure shows signs of rapid growth, similar to warm-blooded animals. The predator-to-prey ratios found in fossil ecosystems also hint at a higher metabolism. It takes a lot of energy to be an active hunter, or to grow to the size of a titanosaur. The modern consensus is that dinosaurs weren't strictly one or the other, but had a unique metabolism somewhere in between, allowing them to be active, energetic animals that dominated their world. For 165 million years, they thrived. They adapted, they evolved, and they ruled. It must have seemed like their reign would last forever, but it all came to a sudden, catastrophic end. Around 66 million years ago, the sky fell. A massive asteroid, estimated to be at least 6 miles wide, slammed into the Earth in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The impact was more powerful than billions of atomic bombs. It triggered unimaginable earthquakes, continent-spanning tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions across the globe. A massive cloud of superheated rock, dust, and sulfur was thrown into the atmosphere, spreading around the planet and blocking out the sun. This is not just a theory. Scientists have found proof of this event all over the world. There's a thin layer in the Earth's sediment called the KPG boundary, which marks the end of the Cretaceous period. This layer is rich in an element called iridium. Iridium is very rare on Earth's surface, but is common in asteroids. Finding this global iridium spike right at the layer where dinosaur fossils disappear is the smoking gun. The impact plunged the world into a long, dark winter. Without sunlight, plants died. The herbivores that ate the plants starved, and the carnivores that ate the herbivores soon followed. In a geological blink of an eye, the long reign of the dinosaurs was over. More than 75% of all species on Earth were wiped out. But the story doesn't completely end there. Life is resilient, and while the great Nonavian dinosaurs were gone forever, a small group of them survived the apocalypse. Who were these survivors? They were a type of small, feathered dinosaur, Over millions of years of evolution, these survivors continued to change, to adapt to the new world. Their arms became wings. Their scales became more complex feathers. Their bones became lighter. They are the ancestors of an animal we see every single day. Birds, that's right. Every pigeon on the sidewalk, every eagle soaring in the sky, every chicken in a farm, they are all living dinosaurs. They are the direct descendants of those ancient theropods, like T-Rex and Velociraptor. So, the next time you see a bird, remember that you are looking at the incredible legacy of the dinosaurs. They never truly left us. They just learned to fly. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the history of our amazing planet. See you next time.